Good morning from New York. Today's subject, MAGA, both wrong and right. Starving for communication of love while fighting it. Undermine communication. Well, as you know, I'm a proponent of an educated democracy, and I'm for love flow. Love flow is good for the economy, it's good for everything, and sometimes requires a bit of compromise between ourselves. We have a representative form of government, and are we going to be able to keep it? Well, MAGA, you got to understand, America's hurting. People are hurting around the world. This damaged faith and love in us causes us to move away from any helplessness around needs and feelings, which was part of that damage. And so we tend to be more symbolic than real sometimes. You know, Mama made great apple pie, and otherwise she was kind of cold. Maybe you crave apple pie. Maybe you crave it too much. So, this sort of thing. That's a light version. Evil, of course, comes when the only safe place for that person to feel safe and secure was to become the oppressor, symbolically acting out those situations. So forgiveness is for everyone. But trust is not for everyone. You can't. Some people you can't trust them. But sometimes we can't trust ourselves. Anyway, but MAGA, MAGA, they want to go back to a time where they felt it was safe, where they were doing better. And sometimes that's because they feel their symbolic comforts challenged. You know, I mean, what skin off of it is for them? Is it that two men or two women marry? I mean, really? Uh, and when you're dealing with this symbolic stuff, it's kind of rigid. There's not a lot of fluidity with real needs and an ability to be creative and objective and compassionate. We can work around and make compromises around situations and get along. The lack of these things is prominent in some parts of American society. It can express itself in various political forms. And of course, the only perfection we'd have is for the love flow to be everyone in touch with their needs and everyone capable of these skills of love. And so that things flow better. That would be an educated democracy, um, a healthy, educated democracy. Let's throw that word in there. That's important. Um, Now, as you know, spirituality for me is simply being more virtuous. If there's any way, if there's something higher than that, something better than that, then what other path are you going to take rather than virtuous love? I wouldn't think that would be I would think that would be the deciding factor. And if you agree with me, then you are more spiritual than you are religious. Yeah. So, where is MAGA right? Well, underneath all of the symbology in these damaged hearts around the world, there is a reality, a real need that was a devastating loss. It actually is currently a devastating loss. Something that needs to be grieved and let go. Then you can have, true forgiveness going around, or greater ability to find remorse and change, um, become a better person. So, how are they right? Well, there is a kind of cabal of power in every society, and in ours, it's the super wealthy, the people in India, very bright people, and they call it the corporate world, one world corporate government. It's getting to be that way. Yeah. So, a few rich and powerful people rule over the rest. And how they got there is kind of important. If they got there by violence and force, then they're pretty nervous people because they know that they could lose their spot the same way. And in some of the better countries, you have rich and powerful people hiding behind the government, which they buy. They're not so nervous. Uh, that's just a pattern that I'm seeing, and it's. I don't see the stark, differences in governments and people that some people see, but I do see important differences, and I would choose the better over the worse. And we're here in the United States, we're in one of the better, but it's a stingy, stingy country with in terms of taking care of its people. And MAGA is responding to that, but they're seeing that there's a powerful influence that is not good for them. And in that regard, they are correct. And some of them that I've talked to in the past were undecided between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Well, the symbolic that they're following is, the one guy is going to upset the whole apple cart, which it's like blowing a china shop kind of approach. If I don't like the game, I'm going to turn the checkerboard upside down. And, well, some of that needs to happen. If they're really going to be included in the love flow. But tearing down every good institution is not the way to do that. You got to be creative, clever. You've got to be objective. Understand what the real facts are, not pasting on truths that are just merely forms of comfort that you've chosen based on what is more symbolic than real, and that's where MAGA's wrong. They're building, and there's this thing of when you're starving for the real love flow, you fight against it because you don't. The one thing you don't want to see is the real need inside. Why? Because that real need inside, because of trauma, has become a kind of damaged faith and love. And so you need to be in touch with your real needs and feelings, but where they are closer to those, or close to those things that you felt helpless about, that actually causes you to push that away. I remember as a child myself needing a more loving home life. And when I was confronted with other children and people that were trying to love me, I had to push them away, I had to push them away because I had to go back home. I had to go back home to that reality. And I was helpless in that reality. I was just helpless. And so what the heck? So you push away. I see a lot of that in America today on the right and the left, where they are pushing back against the ideas that I see working in Europe, some places. Less punishing attitudes in terms of law enforcement, and also, um, you know, taking care of the basic needs of people, and that involves a kind of faith in people. If you take care of people's basic needs, that helps them. It doesn't hurt. It helps everybody. But you got to understand what those needs are, and in order to have people say, if you're going to give them money to use, they need to be educated on how to use it. True. They need to be good at being creative, objective, and compassionate in regard to human need, and especially their own needs. So, I mean, buying a million apple pies, well, that would be throwing money away. That's true. But if you involve a certain amount of healing process, such as I'm talking about on my channel, and I hope you don't find it boring. Sometimes you joke because it's very boring to me, because I essentially talking to myself. So, would love to have conversation going on between us, but this is what I get, right? Just broadcasting, one-sided. I want to expand the channel and have someone else to talk to, and do more like the Midas Touch, or these people that I in Star Talk. But the channel's not there yet, and it doesn't have the money to get there yet. So there's no money at all, and so yeah, there is a cabal. There is a something that's, this country in the United States is a lot more stingy when it comes to helping people and forgiving people. It's very, very stingy. And reacting against that, yeah, I can understand that. And that was that confusion that they had between choosing Bernie Sanders or Trump. You know, nothing alike, these two. But to the in their symbology, in their sense of a cabal, of a game rigged against them, well, they're right. And both of these guys expressed some of that feeling. And anger and fear can be very motivating. And so Trump is all about anger and fear. And Bernie was more about love. So guess what? They pushed Bernie aside ultimately. Even in the Democratic Party, they pushed him aside. And they went for something that was more middle of the road. And in general, the population would go, he's a socialist, he's a democratic socialist. Well, an educated democracy, yeah, that could work, you know, where there's the love flow. I mean, people don't, the idea, empathy teaches us that, it's like nobody wants to feel like they have nothing to offer, that they're just sucking off of other people. Nobody wants to feel like that. That's a very helpless feeling. I mean, who wants to feel like that? You want to be able to give something back and, get a slap on the back from somebody, that you helped. So it's a matter of, helping people. Now we're getting all these great things coming up that are doing all of the minor chores. And some actually complicated tasks too with this AI. So how are we going to deal with that? We need to be more compassionate. We need to have an automatic income. You've all worked to produce this great advancement, and everybody should benefit from it. If you don't have a job, you know, the rich sit back and suck money like crazy, and they're not. You see them sweating. You have Elon Musk. He spends all day and all night at a business, and they isn't that amazing? Well, no, it's not. He's enjoying what he's doing, and I see it all the time. I had my parents. Had a guy that was on disability, but he could get around. He could do quite a number of things, but he was on disability. Well, that gave him freedom. And what he did with that freedom, he helped the struggling people in his church. And that he helped my parents. You know, he would work like a dog. Um, just like Elon Musk, working in something he wanted to do. Well, are you doing what you want to do? Dear God, and on top of it, you're taxed. Well, everybody should pay their fair share. And, but you're seeing the MAGA where they're wrong is trying to overturn democracy itself. I mean, come on. That's not the way to get things done. And blaming people, the punishing attitude thing, where you, instead of not about healing, the way a lot of them followed what they think is Jesus, and what did Jesus say? It's not easy. Jesus wouldn't be a MAGA supporter. He was about healing. He wasn't about punishing people. No great mystics were about punishing people. They were about helping people get their needs met and keep having the love flow going. And that's a kind of dynamic kind of thing. Um, It's, yeah, important. So, and not static, and it's not something where you arrive and, oh, I'm there. Appreciate the drama in your life, the struggle in your life. But when it gets to be just intolerable, ask for some help. And you're benefiting other people, you know. It's like electricity. It's going positive, negative. It's going in a certain direction, right? There's a flow. Oh, help the flow, and but be real about what your needs are, and cultivate your ability to care. All right, now we've got a contest between a person who seems to exhibit a great deal of creativity, compassion, and objectivity. Joe Biden's on top of the game. But people are attracted to someone who wants to, and they're more motivated by fear and anger. So the guys who's stoking fear and anger, kind of the way Hitler did, Mussolini did. Yeah, people who work people up into a hate. That isn't going to be good. It's very motivating. Very easy to slip into that. It's like, oh, wow, well, I'm suffering. It's this person's fault. That person's fault. Really? Some people, on the left, it's the rich people's fault. It's, on the other side, it's the poor people's fault. They're just sucking. You can't give them anything, Well, you don't give them anything. How are they going to give anything back? There has to be a flow, right? So, so and with rich people, it's like, okay, where's the love flow? Well, if the love flow is there, then they would pay their fair share of taxes. It's not asking too much that they pay enough so that we don't have hungry kids and veterans homeless on the streets. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And, I think the right spirit for you to follow, not by might, not by power. One good statement in the Bible from mystics. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit. And what is that spirit? That spirit of love. Not by might, not by power, but by love. So, you invite everybody in and you say, let's love each other. What an idea. Let's love each other. Let's heal each other's, heal ourselves so that we can grieve our losses and forgive from our hearts and change from being hateful to being more loving. This is what I'm preaching here. I'm a preacher, yeah. I always said when I was a kid, you're going to be a preacher. I tried all the religions and I ain't preaching that. you know. But then I ran into a mystic experience, and it led me away from religion. Kind of like the people come back from the NDEs, and then I was like, nah, the religions have it wrong. They do. They have it very wrong. Then where they have it wrong is this punishing attitude. No, that's not what it's about. And it's what do I don't feel well if somebody else suffers. I'm sad that they had to suffer, and we can't save somebody. That's sad. You know, where we and it's a wonderful challenge to try and take someone who's done absolutely evil things and changed them. You know, there's one fellow that was doing horrible things, and he was in prison, and they found out he had a brain tumor. And when they removed the brain tumor, he was a good guy after that. Wow. Well, make what you want of that, but it's the love flow. Somebody cared enough to try and fix a problem instead of beating someone over the head. So this is what I'm talking about, and people aren't energetic about supporting Joe Biden, and I'm very energetic about supporting Joe. He can't be a miracle worker. He can't, if he acts like a dictator, then that's not in keeping with our Constitution or what we value. And he's done within his power everything that he could possibly accomplish given what he had to deal with. And of course, people looking at a snippet or something, one little thing out of place and going, oh, he's old and decrepit. No, he's not. Did you see his speech recently? The guy is on top of the game. It's bullshit. Sorry, it's just nonsense. But Trump's absolutely falling apart, but that's not the point. When he wasn't falling apart, he was a very damaged soul. All about himself, abusive toward other people. I mean, I heard one fellow said, "Oh, I wouldn't like him as a person, but I'd vote for him because why? Because he's going to upset the apple cart. How is he upsetting the apple cart? When he came in, all the people on his all of his advisors that he picked, his whole cabinet, he tried to pick billionaires, in many cases, billionaires and millionaires. And, yeah. Well, and the Republican Party was headed this way all along. All along. They shouldn't be surprised if they ended up with a Trump. Because if you shovel all of the goods and all of the value and all of the ownership to a handful of people and who pay less in taxes than if they pay any at all, than their secretaries, God, the one doing the real work. This is, nonsense. That Joe Biden is working against the real cabal, the super wealthy people who are right now taking all of your information. It's valuable, but do you get anything back? Where's the love flow? They're sucking it up, using it to pad their pockets. They're not sharing it with you. So MAGA's right about that. They're right about that. There is a cabal. There is a whole system of greed in this country that it's not right. And it's all about how we do our taxes. It's all about our attitudes toward the poor and our lack of faith in humanity. I have faith in humanity and its potential, and a lot of people don't. They think the worst, and that people are essentially all selfish. Well, a person who's in a lot of pain, they're kind of selfish, kind of self-centered. They want a world that they're comfortable in, and they don't care about anybody else. That is definitely what you see a lot of in MAGA, and that's where they're wrong. And Oh yeah, they're just going to push away the guy that is talking sense. One of the things that I've found with people who are on the far right and the far left sometimes is that these things that trigger them, that touch the pain in them, are creative thinking, objective thinking, and compassionate thinking. Of course, the left and right are a little different, but these are the things that they react against. These are the things that, at some point they go, no. When I talked to one lady on the far right, and I said, well, we can have a bipartisan group, and the only rules are, if you have a disagreement, you seek for common ground, and if there's disagreement, then you try to argue from the other person's point of view. Oh, I can't do that. She was all in game until that point. Yeah. Well, that's empathy. Hello. We've got to have a little empathy for one another, folks. And if we don't take care of that love flow between ourselves and our world, our resources, our earth that is hospitable to us for now, we're going to become extinct. Okay, maybe one day that's going to happen. But let's enjoy the drama of the whole thing, and let's try to preserve ourselves. Try to hang on. Hang in there, baby. That was, I saw that there was a picture of a cat. This is a long time ago. This cat was hanging by its, its claws almost just ready to fall. And it's the underline it said, hang in there, baby. Well, hang in there, folks, and have a little faith in humanity. We can be absolutely crazy, but with expanding our comfort zone to embrace more creativity, more objectivity, and more compassion, and seeking common ground, we can create a better nation and a better world. I guess that's enough of my presentation for now. I hope that this was useful to you, and if you'd like to subscribe, that's okay. You can subscribe, but I'm not going to beg you. If you want to do it, do. If you don't. I'm on a mission, and that's my sacrifice and my chosen path for a long time now. And I'm not going to beg for anything. If you value what I'm saying, okay, subscribe. Share the video. If you don't disagree, let's find some common ground and work around that. Let's not yell at each other. Be angry and fearful. Let's not do that. There's enough of that. We have wars all over the place. It's just unreal. Unreal. But you've got to defend democracy. You can't let absolute greed and hatefulness and inspirations of fear destroy democracy. You can't let a dictator like Putin just grab whatever he wants. power mongering and greed. These are not good things. Don't be confused. Don't be confused. These are bad. And there's nothing you can say about it that makes them good. There's no common ground with that. I think Robert Reich would say, this is some places you can't find that common ground. There's nothing good about what you're. There's nothing good about evil. Right? Yeah. But in fact, evil, well, let's define it. It's blockage of the love flow. Nothing good about that. You gotta have the love flow increasing and enriching everyone, pulling everybody on board, leaving nobody out, much as you can. And it reminds, you have to compromise, because this universe is not all that especially loving toward humanity, and a lot of people notice that. Let that not destroy your faith. You have to pursue love no matter what. What else are you going to do? Try to block the love flow? Space out? Oh, really? Is that what you're going to do? I'm one with the universe. Yeah, right. Little babies are one with the universe. You're grown up now. Yeah, you gotta, and you are one with the universe. That is a valid perspective. But it wasn't enough for you to survive in this real world. You needed love, and a lot of it from these perspectives that I harp on: creative, objective, and compassionate. You needed the ability to be at play, to focus, and to express your needs. And that's the practice of interrod communication, which I call the yoga of love. And my distribution, my distro. So I don't care, if your image of your personification of absolute love is Buddha or Jesus or Allah or whoever, I don't care. I don't care. Whatever floats your boat. Or nothing. I don't care. Just however you are comfortable. Seek comfort. And that's where a lot of times therapy goes wrong, because it's looking for something bad. That isn't going to make you feel a little, and it seems like people get really addicted to therapy. Well, that isn't healthy. You need to be able to be a grown-up and stand up on your own. To some degree, got to be in the love flow, and somebody else piloting your ship, your life. No, they can be useful. They can teach you things. They can listen to you with compassion. Okay, all wonderful. They can be creative, show you a new perspective. Okay, fine. But you are the pilot of your life. You are the one who knows what's comfortable for you and what goes too far out of your comfort zone. It's you. And Just as an exercise, be gentle with yourself. Do what you can. Don't strain a muscle. It feels good to challenge yourself. It does. And it isn't all about being positive or negative. It's about the love flow. About whatever helps it. It's about expanding your comfort with the capacity to be compassionate, objective, and creative. And that is going to help us survive, my friends. That is what's going to help humanity to get closer to thriving. And we can withstand, with those attitudes, we can withstand AI and anything else that's thrown against us, if we approach things in those ways. And the balance of all those things that I've mentioned, all 6 of them, that is wise freedom. That's the real freedom. You want freedom, MAGA? Enhance the love flow. Okay? Let's journey together. Let's take a look at things from different points of view. Objectively. What are the real facts now? Don't just listen to one source. Listen to more. And compare them. Argue from one side and the other. Be objective. And be compassionate. Quit the us-them thing. Human beings are human beings. We don't really have any enemies. We just have people who are sicker and people who are more healthy spiritually. And we should help those who are sicker. It's a useful and wonderful drama. Without drama, there's no meaning in life. So, thank goodness for all the problems. But let's have the love flow going. Okay? Let's not block it. And don't push love away, MAGA. Don't push love away. The idea of a fair taxing system should appeal to you. Alright? And stop vilifying the rich and the poor. There's no point to it. There's just no point. Ask for what's fair. Get them to practicing these spiritual things that I'm talking about. Get them to practice. This is basic, simple stuff, isn't it? I mean, come on. Is it rocket science? I'm not a rocket scientist, and I understand it. You can too. So I like to say at the end of my videos, the words namaste, because that means all of this wonderful love flow potential that unites us all in some kind of affection, and unites us with life and with the world and the earth and the universe. That is a great perspective and a reality in each of us. And I would like, and you should too, like to honor that wonderful perspective and potential in the other person. Simple phrase, namaste. Simple statement. So, and because I'm a ham, I am going to sing my song of a blessing, an Irish blessing for you. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rain fall soft upon your fields, and till we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Even if ultimately none of that is real. Feel the love. And namaste. Make a great day today.